Hey guys, Kawaii Claybox here, and today I'm just going to give you a quick update on my tongue piercing. And currently I have like an oil spill bar in, even though they call it a tongue ring. I don't get that, like it's a bar not a ring. But anyway, so I'm basically just gonna go through a small story on what was happening after I got my tongue pierced. So in my last video, if you haven't watched that, definitely go check it out. Sorry about my eyes, I have conjunctivitis and it's really painful. Well, it's not painful, it's just really uncomfortable. I totally blame the shop owner because they wouldn't allow the workers to have time off when they had conjunctivitis, so I'm pretty sure that's where I got it from. But anyway, so one thing that did happen with my tongue bar is when I still had the normal bar in, I was eating and I noticed that the top ball had come off afterwards, and then I also noticed I swallowed it. And I actually had some other jewelry for it, so I was trying to look for that. I couldn't find it, and so I tried taking it out and see if I could get it back in by myself, because obviously I hadn't done that yet because it was still my first tongue bar. And I did manage to get it in, but then I couldn't manage to find the jewelry for it, and so I ended up sleeping through the night, and then I took it out, but yeah, and because it was the top ball that came off, I basically took it out and put it in the other way, so it was like the bottom ball had come off, so it was just easier to keep in throughout the day because I didn't want it to close up, so I wanted to spend as little time as possible having it out. So then I went to the piercing place. They actually did me a deal, 10 for £5, so it was like 50p each, and they weren't like metal ones, they were just like little funky kind of acrylic ones with like a bendy bar in the center of it, and they were really comfortable, and so I put that in, but they were a lot shorter and my tongue wasn't swollen, but I do have a thick tongue. I don't necessarily anymore, it's like it made it thinner for me. I don't know, but I did manage to get it in after a lot of struggle, but then it was pretty cool. And I was actually thinking to do a video at some point on all the tongue bars that I have, and I have quite a lot because I like to buy things in bulk, like seriously I have a lot, okay? So I'll show you all of the things that I have in another video if you guys would like. Okay, so another problem that I had was I was feeling sick one day and I didn't want to throw up with my tongue piercing in because I didn't want it getting caught and still being able to taste it. That was just horrendous. So I took it out. That day was over. I forgot to put it in and I slept without it in, but obviously I've done this before, and so I was thinking, oh, it won't close up, and it closed up like the tiniest bit and I couldn't get it in. But then the next day, weirdly enough, I managed to only just squeeze it through, and I had to re-pierce the bottom of it by myself, and it wasn't necessarily painful. It was like a little bit painful, but like my tongue didn't swell up, it didn't have to go through the whole process again, which is quite lucky, I'll admit. Another problem that I had was occasionally when I was eating I kept biting on the ball, and so I had to kind of swap it to acrylic, just because with the metal ones you can really damage your teeth by doing that. You could even break your teeth. So I thought I'd just get in the habit of trying not to bite it, so I just changed it to the acrylic, and now I'm okay with having like acrylic and metal. I just have to be careful every now and then because I do it occasionally. Another problem that I have is, for some reason, there I have like a kind of dip in my tongue. I don't know if that's normal. I think it is, just from where, well, you have a tongue piercing. But like I don't know if that will eventually go or not. Really difficult to find such a small ball on carpet. So if you have carpet and you're trying to put your ball back on, I recommend going into a different room, or even if you have a carpet room without the same colour, then that would be a lot easier, because you do end up dropping it a lot when you're trying to put it back in. So that is another problem. When you're trying to put something back in, it can be quite fiddly, and if your fingers get all slobbery because of your tongue, obviously, it can slip out your fingers and fall on the floor, and it is quite difficult to find. But yeah, so that was the small update on my tongue piercing. I think it's going really well. I will do a video on all the piercings that I have. And sorry for the lack of videos again, conjunctivitis. It's really uncomfortable, and sometimes I can't even open my eyes, and other times my eyes are just crying by themselves. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful to give you a rough idea of what would happen after a while after your tongue piercing, and see whether it's worth it or not. Well, good luck with life. I hope you're having a better day than I am, and much love to you all. Bye! Mwah.